this project called Flack, which is project number 2. And it's similar to how Slack works. So I will not read the requirements here as in text. While I make I show the product, I will show you how this whole product works. So the first thing that I did, I designed a logo, which is called Flack. It's somewhat similar to how Slack works, but the idea behind this logo is that it's two-way communication between different users in a group. So this is how the product looks like. I've opened two windows. One is in the incognito window, and the other one is the normal window. I'll make two users, Gmail, and I would say Germany. Let's assign user number 1. Let's assign user 2. User 2 test, I would say user 2 at msn.com. I would say USA. Okay, user 1 will log in for the first time, and he's supposed to write a display name because it's the first time he's logging in. User 2, he is supposed to write a display name because it's the first time he's signing in. Okay, so there's no channels at the moment. Okay, let's create a channel name food. Okay, so you see the user 2 has this channel automatically. So user 2 comes in, he sees himself as an active user. So the user 1, when he goes into the channel, he sees that user 2 is also there. And user 2 sees that the user 1 has joined the channel. Okay. User 2 will going to say, hi, user 1. And the socket IO works as expected. So the page doesn't reload, and the user 1 sees, hi, from user 2. He says, hi, user 2, how are you? So user 2 sees this as well. Now user 2 decides to log off. He logs out, and the user 1 sees user 2 has logged out. Now user 2 signs in again. This time he doesn't cease that he needs to type in a display name. So he goes into, again, the same channel, and he sees the messages that he typed in. Okay. And user 1 sees user 2 is logged in there. So this is how the project was supposed to work. So the display name, channel creation, channel list, messages view, only the 100 recent ones are maintained. You can send a message, you can remember a channel. And now let me just go through the working of the code. Okay, how the code works. So let's start from, okay. So first of all, I have these templates. I have a register template, layout. In the layout, I have the layout of how the page should be designed, the header and footer. And then I would first go through my backend programming. Okay. So this starts from the root. The root will going to render login. And the login, if the user writes the credentials, then he will go into authenticating a user. So when we want a user to authenticate, let me just figure. So if I want to authenticate a user, I need to check if the user exists. If that user exists, then I have used this encryption to encrypt the password, decrypt, and then for this to work, I have to check if the hash, if the password hash salt actually matches how the password that was stored through the register is the same as the password that he wrote to log in. If he logs in, then I just on the backend side, I use it to show that the password matches. And then he is logged in, and then the logged in session is true. Now the login session is true, then we see that all the other things like the current user. So I need to check which user is currently logged in. I get the current channel, so that's how I can change the channels. Now, if I want to switch between channels, I switch channels and then I can change the current channel. And there I get the active users, which I showed you here. These are the active users I have on the right hand side. Now, this is a Socketio that I use for message type. The message type is the default type that we can get the strings. And I'm then emitting a custom event, which is message event, that has a whole lot of an object, which has a message, which channel the message is being sent to, what's the display name, and the timestamp. For the timestamp, I have used local time and str ftime, which is time from Python. It's by default installed with Python, so you don't have to install it. And then if the user logs out, so you see, as you saw, that it sort of displays a toast that a user has logged off. Channel creation works like this as well. So these are the Socketio events. Then the display name submission. So I submit when a user logs in for the first time, he needs to submit display name. Submit channel name, so it's a channel name creation. How the JavaScript works, JavaScript is also pretty simple. So these are the functions, 3 functions that has to run for the first time. And then there are certain events like different alerts for success, for danger. I mean, if the user logs out or leaves the channel, and these are the socket events I have. What else? I get the current channel because I need to get which channel the user is logged in. I need to get display name, and I can also show you my model. So the model that I've used is users, channel, messages, and active users. So for the messages, the foreign keys that I take is from the user ID and channel ID. Channel, I get the user ID. This is the model I've used, and product seems to work pretty fine. And the user can log out. So this is how my product works. Yeah. You can give your comments, how you like the whole working, how you like the UI. If you have any suggestions, feel free to give. Thank you.